Hello everyone, it's Friday the 26th of February and this is your final maths lesson of the week and we're moving on to a new unit of ratio. Now I'm going to go through this again because I've just recorded the whole video and then it deleted, so we're going to go again and hopefully it will work this time. So as usual, we have your starter. This time there are 5 questions you need to solve and you need to think about whether you need to use a written or a mental method for them, and then you can solve them appropriately. So have a go, pause the video, and then we will go through the answers. Right, let's move it on. So the first one is same mental, but you could have done it written, but 490 divided by 7 is 70. Next one was more of a written method because there was lots of exchanging needed. So 675.32 take away 138.83 is 536.49. Third one, written again, because you're getting into remainders. 863 divided by 21 is 41 remainder 2. 6 add 3 times 6. 3 times 6 is 18. Add your 6 is 24, so you could do that mentally. And then a third, add a sixth. We need to change this third into sixths. Times the bottom by 2 means times the top by 2. So 2 sixths, add 1 sixth is 3 sixths, simplified to a half. Hopefully we did okay on those. Learning intention today is to understand the language of ratio. So we've got star words of ratio, relationship, how they're related to each other, and then our sentence starter, which we can use a lot to help us for every. So ratio shows the relationship between 2 values and can describe how one is related to the other. So a good example is in a class, for every 1 girl, there are 2 boys. So the relationship between those values, for every 1 girl in the class, there are 2 boys. So therefore 15 girls, there'd be 30 boys. So you can change those ratios around, but it's 1 to 2. Good. So here are your sentences here. So every 2 blue flowers, there are some amount of pink flowers, and for every blue flower, there are some amount of pink flowers. So 2 blue flowers here, there are 2 blue flowers. For every 2, there are 4 pinks, as it says down here. And for every blue flower, so not every 2 blue flowers now, for every 1 blue flower, there'd be 2 pink flowers to go along with it. So for every blue flower, there'd be 2 pink ones. So we're using for every to discuss the ratio and the relationship between them. So how would the sentences change if there were 2 more blue flowers? So here, for example, we've got the 2 more blue flowers on the end. So now for every 2 blue flowers, how many pinks would there be? It wouldn't be the same, it wouldn't be 4 now. And for every blue, how many pinks would there be? Have a quick think to yourself. And then for every 2 blue flowers, there'd now be 2 pink ones to go alongside it. So these 2 would have these 2 pink ones, these 2 blues would have these 2 pink ones. And if they're the same amount of blue and pink, so there'd be in a 1-to-1. So for every blue flower, there'd be a pink one. They'd each have 1. So we're talking about using for every to discuss relationships between numbers. So in your home learning book, I'd like you to do exactly that. I would like you to have a go at these 4 questions. First one, using cubes in a similar way as we've just done with the flowers. Third one, you need to put the name of the fruit, the 2 missing ones in there. Third one, you've got a ratio given here. You need to then adapt it to this one. And then the last one, you need to count the counters and then make some for every sentences that are true. Only do 2 or 3 because you could do loads, but don't waste loads and loads of time. Just think of 2 or 3 ones, sentences about the ratio. So pause it and have a go at those for me. Good stuff. Let's move it on. So first one, for every 16 yellow cubes, there are 8 blue ones. For every 8 yellow cubes, there are 4 blue ones. And for every 1 blue cube, there were 2 yellow ones. Getting used to changing those ratios around. Then for every 7 strawberries, because that's the only one with 7, there were 3 lemons, which is the only one with 3. There are 2 squares for every triangle, every 6 triangles, sorry, which means if we take 1 square, we're cutting this side in half, so we cut this side in half. So for every 1 square, there'll be 3 triangles. And the last one, there are 15 yellow counters, 5 blue and 3 red. So you just have to describe some relationship between them. So for every 5 blue counters, there are 3 red ones. For every 15 yellow counters, there are 3 red ones. And then are divided by 3. So for every 5 yellow counters, there'd be 1 red one. So there's lots more you could have had, but as long as you've used those numbers of counters and relationships fit, you're fine. So we're going to go through a couple of problems now, different types of problem, and you're going to have a go at solving them. So Pippa has a bag of balloons. There are 3 blue balloons for every 6 green balloons. She says if there was 1 blue balloon, there'd be 4 balloons in total. Is she correct? So we're going to put it into for every sentence. For every 3 blue balloons, there are 6 green balloons. So to get to the 1 blue balloon, we divide by 3, which gives us 1, which means we need to do the same for the green balloons, divide by 3 to give us 2. So for every 1 blue balloon, there will be 2 green balloons. 1 add 2 is 3. This makes 3 balloons in total, meaning Pippa is wrong. Next one. Isla and Ivy are looking at the relationship between tomatoes and chilies. 9 here, 6 here. And they've each made statements that we need to test to see who's correct. So currently, for every 6 tomatoes, there are 9 chilies. Isla says, if there were 3 chilies, there'd be 2 tomatoes. So to get the 3 chilies she's talking about, we need to divide the 9 by 3, which means we need to do the same here. So we need to divide the 6 by 3 to give us 2. So for every 3 chilies, there'd be 2 tomatoes, which is exactly what Isla said. So we think she's right, but we need to check Ivy to make sure that she is wrong. So to get the 1 tomato that she wants, we need to divide the 6 by 6 to give 1, which means we need to do the same with the chilies, divide 9 by 6, which is 1.5, not 2. So she is incorrect, meaning Isla is the one definitely who is correct. What I want you to do now is take these 3 questions, pause the video in your home learning book, have a really good go at them for me. Right, let's talk through the answers to these problems. So first one, Whitney lays tiles in the following pattern. 2 red, 3 yellow, 2 red, 3 yellow. If she has 16 red tiles and 20 yellow tiles remaining, can she continue her pattern? So we use a language of ratio, and we say for every 2 red tiles, there'll be 3 yellow tiles. So to get the 16 red she's talking about, we times 2 by 8, and that gives us 16. If we're timesing the red by 8, we need to times the yellow by 8. So 3 times 8 is 24. Not to the 20 she's talking about, which means she'll have some tiles left over, which won't go exactly in. So she can't continue a pattern because she'd have tiles left over because she'd need 24 to do the 16 red. So well done if you got that one. Millie has a bag of sweets. There are 6 pink sweets for every 8 orange sweets. And she says if there were 3 pink sweets, there'd be 5 sweets in total. So we've got 6 pink ones. We need to divide that by 2 to get the 3 she's talking about, which means we divide the 8 by 2 as well to give 4. For every 3 pink sweets that Millie had, she'd have 4 orange sweets. 3 add 4. Let's change that to the number 4 to make it clearer. 3 add 4 is 7. So she'd have 7 sweets in total, not the 5, so she's incorrect. And the last one. For every red cube, there are 8 blue cubes. For every red, there are 4 blue cubes, so that's false. For every 4 blue cubes, there's 1 red. Just talked about that one, so that's true. For every 3 red cubes, there'd be 12 blue cubes. So if we had 1 more red, 4 more blues, there'd be 12 blue, 3 red. That's true. For every 16 cubes, 4 would be red, 12 would be blue. So let's have 4 reds, which means we'd have 8 more blues, which means 20 cubes in total, so that's false. For every 20 cubes, 4 would be red and 16 would be blue. We've just proved that one by disproving the previous one, so that one is true. Well done if you got that. Finally, to finish the week off, on to TT Rockstars and have a bit of times table fluency practice for me. Give it a really good go, and then you are done with maths for the week, and we'll be back next week. See you later.